be free practice 2, where we're going to have all... I think we're going to have all of the drivers in the car. Yeah, no rookies in this one. So free practice 1 was a little bit weird. But now here we are with the big one. And obviously, we're going to be keeping a keen eye on our championship contenders. Nice. Welcome Vlatka, welcome Abster, welcome Douglas. Lando for the win. Who's winning? Well, let's keep an eye on how this goes, right? Hopefully everything is working. Vortex is back. Let me know if everything's good, by the way. Because we're basically a minute away from free practice starting. And then I'm doing some cool stuff with in London today. It's quite exciting. Welcome Ken Smith from Ohio. Welcome Hellcat as well. Free practice 2. What are we saying? Welcome Zara as well. Vlaka keeping order, very nice. Welcome Jack, good to see you. Are we excited for a big weekend of Formula 1? 43 seconds to go, I believe. George Russell's in the car. Does he have the Mr. Beast stickers on? Not sure. Welcome Buchel as well. Good to see so many people in the chat. Come on, put it in the chat then. Who's going to win the championship? Who's winning the championship? It's a sunset at the moment in Abu Dhabi. Very dramatic. V-neck in Formula Fan TV, all about the bottle. Also streaming vertically on Formula Fan TV as well. Where we did a very cool watch-along of Abu Dhabi 2025, which was great. That was a lot of fun. Vortex saying Piastri, Zara saying Lando. Well, let's see. I would say the road to victory starts now. The road to victory starts right now. This is it. Because if you have a bad free practice, you could be playing catch-up for a long time. So let's hope for the drivers you're supporting that they're not going to be playing catch-up. Cars are leaving the pit lane. As you can see, Liam Lawson out on track. He is keeping his seat next season with VCarb. I think very much will be a team leader to Arvin Lindblad, who's going to be there. And Hadjar's been promoted. Hadjar's been promoted to Red Bull for next season. Vlaka saying, hopefully Lando, fingers crossed. Appstab, it's probably going to be between Piastri and Norris, but it would be cool if Max manages to get a 5th World Championship. And he's not even in his prime yet. He's not even in his prime, Max Verstappen, which is kind of scary when you think about it. Is that Max leaving the pits? Max might just be leaving the pits as well. See, Sonoda's left. And like I say, very much the road to the championship. This is where it all begins. If you have a terrible free practice, you can't get it hooked up, or if you're looking quick, do you want to sandbag a little bit as well? Who was the other Leclerc FP1? It'd be Arthur Leclerc. Fernando Alfonso out on track. Yeah, Charles Leclerc's brother, Arthur Leclerc. Also a very fast driver, but like the Marquez brothers. Who's in the pit? Is it Hadjar still in the pits? Yes, Hadjar still in the pits. Looks like Behrman might be going out on soft tyres, by the way. Does it run in the family? I think it makes sense if your siblings, let's say you're a couple of years apart, if you're paying for all the karting equipment, etc., then you may as well, the marginal cost of the younger sibling doing it is much less than your initial outlay. Ozfrogs, I reckon we're going to see some delayed tactics by the Racing Bulls. Let's see. They've got that in their locker. They've got it in their locker. For example, let's say you have a reverse Abu Dhabi 2021 situation. Let's get into specifics. Welcome, Flea Casey. Very cool cup. Yes. Let's get into specifics. If you have an Abu Dhabi 2021 situation, okay, if you have the RBs who are asked to unlap themselves, they could just be like, nah, we're not going to unlap ourselves. They could take a couple of blue flags, and then they could get out of the way around turn 5, say. You know what? I think we can make this map quite a bit bigger. Should we do it? Should we risk it? Look. If we do that... If we do that, and then we move the like target like that. Genius. Genius! Now we got a bigger map for the whole weekend. That's why I think that's why I was nominated for the Autosport Awards. It's just that sort of what they call it, thinking on the fly. Free-form thinking. Turn 5, 6, long with friendly toes could produce a championship winner. Yeah. Also, what if the RBs use... Sorry, what if Red Bull use the RBs to get slipstream? So you could have like... you could have an RB pit... Someone clip this. You can have RB pit, okay, and come out just ahead of Max on soft tyres... and basically drag Max along, and they could be pacemakers. So you could have pacemakers. And you could probably get, I don't know, 5, 6 seconds like that, if you use both RBs, before the tyres faded and Max would just be faster. Blacker, financially makes sense, but I don't like the idea of forcing a child into hobby. I would say most karting children... I would say most racing drivers... No, that's not true. Most Formula 1 drivers would have been forced into it. Most parents of Formula 1 drivers would have forced their child into it. Because to get to that level, I reckon you're going to have to push the child to do things that they won't be able to perceive the benefits of. You have to push so hard, and you're just obviously going to think it's not worth it. Charles Leclerc sparking the floor already. Running over some curbs. That's nice with that map all big like that, isn't it? Nice big old map. Oh, did I stop the F1? Hang on, it feels a bit empty here, doesn't it? There we go. That's better. I was like, what's going on? It feels a bit empty. Do we prefer it with the background noise? Osprog, or dare I say an RB accidentally, of course, running into Norris. Yeah, that would be too much, because that would be like Crashgate. But what we saw Perez do in 2021, where he just completely ignored his own race. So could you know, Isaac Hadjar is on the Red Bull payroll. It doesn't get more obvious. So if you're Isaac Hadjar here, if Isaac Hadjar qualifies ahead of Lando Norris, we got a huge story on our hands. A huge story. And Hadjar's qualified consistently decently, so if Norris messes up and he ends up behind Hadjar, imagine if Hadjar puts Norris in the wall. Oh my goodness. If Hadjar puts Norris in the wall, immediately Verstappen becomes the overwhelming favourite. So Ollie Behrman on those soft tyres, 24.7. Max 24.7 also. Norris 25.2. Verstappen, Norris incident, turn 1 impeding has been noted. This is not a drill. There could already be a penalty here. Verstappen, turn 1 impeding. I'm going to guess it's Verstappen impeding Norris. That's just reputation. That's just reputations speaking for themselves. But all I have in terms of the note is there is a turn 1 incident involving Norris and Verstappen for impeding. That is under investigation, chat. It's already started. Let me get the light counter working. How about that? How about that? Oop. So it's already happened. We'll try and get a look at it. There we go. Maybe I'll get a look now. So Verstappen was going very slowly through turn 1. He was told, you've got Norris not opening lap behind you, and then told, or maybe he's coming through. So yes, as I suspected, Verstappen impeding Norris. Norris had to run wide on the curb. I don't know what the normal penalty is, because Verstappen has definitely impeded Norris here. Definitely. Norris saying, what's this guy doing? I almost crashed. Verstappen has 100% impeded Norris, but it's a free practice. So how does that work, chat? How does that work? VNet Max getting a penalty at this point is disaster. I mean, if that was qualifying, that's a penalty. It's not qualifying, but it seems Red Bull are going to be up to some dirty tricks here. Oh my goodness, Verstappen is so close to the wall. Just through the last sector, turn 14, where Latifi binned it. The irony. As Hadjar goes fastest. Is Isaac Hadjar a protagonist here in this championship? What do we think? Vortex, yeah, and he also drove the highest speed karts in entire UK. What are that? Shifter karts? Is that KZ or something? To be fair, when you're 8 years old, you're not driving those karts. You're in cadets, aren't you? Then the way the karting pathway works is it very much builds you up. I mean, obviously there are big steps. Starting in the Bambinos. But you can be a late karter like me. I think this is the best background we've got. Almost looks fake. Got the Mercedes steering wheel in there. Piastri on the back straight to see with that DRS wide open. He's just gone past Verstappen. Hopefully there wasn't more impedance there for Verstappen's sake, but I'm not sure what the penalty is gonna be. Presumably a grid drop will be on the table. It wouldn't be a race penalty, but presumably it could be a 5-place grid drop for Verstappen. And it almost felt like the engineers wanted to keep Verstappen in the blind, so he can't be blamed or something. Because oh yeah, no, Norris not starting a lap. Oh, or maybe he is. But Verstappen was already just chilling. Verstappen was in a silly position because he was chilling on the exit of turn 1, on the exit curb. Basically, he wasn't on the curb, but he was on the right hand side of the circuit. And that's just silly. That's just silly and that's just risky. What do you think, chat? What do you think? Is it going to be a penalty for Verstappen? Is it going to be a reprimand? Financial penalty, maybe? Could it be a grid drop? Has there been some shenanigans by McLaren? Did McLaren basically do a very slow sector 3 to make it look like Norris wasn't going to do a lap, and then he just started a lap out of nowhere? Why are you spectating Ocon? We're spectating everyone. Welcome, Stan Racing. Morning, Kireth chat. Hope you're doing well. Let us know where you're watching from. In fact, let's do a nations check. Let's do a nations check. Let us know where in the world you're watching from, because I don't think we've ever done a Friday free practice before, ever. Ever. KCR Simba in the house. Simba in the house, ready for another dramatic weekend. As Franco Colapinto does do the Hamilton line at turn 6. Goes straight across. Could we see a penalty already for Max Verstappen? FIA stewards involved. FIA stewards are involved. Are they investigating or no further action? FIA stewards are looking at that turn 1 incident between Verstappen and Lando Norris. Vortex Pakistan, San US, Aptat Netherlands, Vlatka Croatia, Fleecy UK, Douglas from China. V-neck, I don't know where that's from. Keep them coming in, everyone. Almost 100 people watching. Let us know where in the globe you're tuning in from. Turn 1 incident. Oklahoma, USA. As Hadjar is top of the leaderboards right now. Does he have a point to prove? Is his seat at Red Bull conditional in some way? Vortex, where do I submit my resume to become a mod? We have the Formula 1 of modding teams here on this channel. We literally have, I think, the best mods on YouTube. I see other streams and I'm like, it's crazy what happens on other streams. It doesn't happen on our stream. Abstab would be bad if stewards could influence the championship in this way. Well, I don't know if they're looking at it or they're not looking at it. No further investigation. San, speaking of karting, I'm close to Atlanta Motorsport Park. The track is amazing. Karts go about 55 mph. Is that therefore 4-stroke karts? Vortex says, Dog, I'm literally a Formula 1 engineer. I thought you were joining. Were you joining Haas? Not a Formula 1 engineer yet. How can you watch all-time radio? BBC 5 Live. Welcome, Geordie Matt from Tasmania, Australia. Ah, Ferrari's got the Pironi 0.0% on the front. Lewis Hamilton's car looks terrible, frankly. He's just done a 26 dead. He's going over again. What will it be? 25-1. Still doesn't look like a good car. Other streams have too many bots. That could be it. That could be why we have such a good stream, because we have no bots. Verstappen overtakes Hamilton. There's some history there, for sure. 44 minutes to go. Isaac Hadjar looks like he's in the groove. He is on the soft tyre. Charles Leclerc in P7. There's quite a few Ferrari engines up there in the top 7. Camera unfocused. How did that happen? Why does a Ferrari drive like that? I don't know. Maybe they've had to compromise too many different elements. For example, it's too draggy, so they run less wing, and then there's not enough downforce. And as Lando Norris, I think, is about to go P3 here. Let's see. Yes, Lando Norris goes P3 with a 124.2. So just a little bit ahead of Verstappen. I wonder if there's a bit of kind of, you know, brinksmanship here between the two of them, where they won't want to give up ground to each other. I wonder. That could be the case. I don't know exactly, it's just rental cart, so it's a shifter cart video. Yeah, you want to be lifting that inside wheel up. Can we get some predictions in the chat? Very interesting. I forgot they do adverts in free practice. Verstappen boxes right now, but everyone else, apart from Verstappen and Hulkenberg, currently on track, although I think Carlos Sainz might be waiting to cut across into the pit lane. No, he's going for a fast lap. So it looks like drivers maybe doing some qualifying practice. See if Carlos Sainz is going to try and set a personal best here. I don't understand adverts these days. They all look like Hollywood movies, and there's no like soul in them. Meaning that seems to be Ferrari's main problem. Adjustment at the front upsets the rear in reverse. Yes, they're constantly playing catch up. And I think Hamilton and Leclerc have different driving styles. So that probably doesn't help things. Stroll tipping into P5. Where's Stroll? I'm in P17 right now. Antonelli. Haven't spoken about Antonelli yet. Does Antonelli have a role to play, as Hamilton looks like he's on a fast lap? Hadjar in the box also. Piastri could only manage a 24.4 last lap on his flying one. Interesting they're doing flying laps on the medium. What about Russell? What's Russell saying? 124.7 also on the mediums. As Behrman goes fastest, 23.9. Does Behrman have a role to play here? We know that the grids are so tight. Super tight. Welcome, King Blink.
Full concentration, anything can happen still.
7 AM in the USA. Not exactly prime time USA. Yeah, 23.9 from Behrman. On the soft tyre though. I mean, he's only 0.3 quicker than Norris, who's on the medium tyre. So I'm not sure that's particularly good news. Oliver Behrman. To send an email, weirdly.
Keep trying.
For a cool thing I'm doing later today. One second, let me just write an email. Bear with me. Right. Just confirm no investigation. Okay. But there were some worried faces at Red Bull there. Interesting, McLaren didn't really seem to push the point that much. Sana had a dream that I was watching Quali and Lando's engine blew. If that happens, I'm buying a lottery ticket. I was thinking it is near the end of the season. It is near the end of the season, you know? There'll be all sorts of theories, right? If one of the McLaren cars has a engine failure. Welcome to Suzuki as well. Is that Leclerc diving into the pits also? Verstappen now on soft tyres. It's going to be interesting. Verstappen on the soft tyres. Let's see what Verstappen can do here. Verstappen's got the helmet camera today. Making all sorts of brake balance changes. Overtakes Hamilton. Is it possible to reuse an engine? I think you can, as long as you don't... I think as long as you don't go over your quota for the engine or the engine parts. I think the teams swap parts all the time. I know, if for example in Formula E, they literally have a different battery every race. It's just the batteries are randomly swapped. 23.4 is going to be from Verstappen. I'm just about 5 seconds ahead. So 23.4 for Verstappen. So it'll be interesting if Lando and Oscar can't get close, even if it's free practice. I think, didn't Max have the one where he started from, was it Brazil? Did he start from the pits? So he was able to take his penalties there. So drivers coming out on the soft tyres now. I'm interested to see what Hadjar can do. Hadjar's not on a fast lap right now, but his last one was a 23.6. Yeah, so Hadjar consistently has been right up there. Hulkenberg now, 23.5 in the stake. Carlos Sainz had a very unusual moment. So the car looks almost wobbling about. Wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos Sainz come into the pits now. Oh my goodness, Oliver Behrman was coming out the pits and one of the Astons came out, almost took him out. Was Sauber, sorry, unsafe release from the Sauber, Behrman saying. Kind of crazy that the pit lane's not that busy, and yet they just release that Sauber straight into Oliver Behrman. Verstappen comes straight into the pits. Black has read. I've read that using former engines is the reason Max was again in the top drivers. Maybe. I mean, they may as well run it all to the max, right? Excuse the pun. Lando Norris is, I think, going to be starting a flying lap here. Sucks for Yuki, but interesting watching him to Superform. I don't think Yuki moving to Superformer does anything for him. So, let's see what Lando can do. Lando's going to be doing a simulation qualifying lap. 16.9, first sector. Fastest sector out of anyone. If Lando does a 22 here, it's looking pretty ominous. Yes, there can be sandbagging and everything, but I also feel if you're the McLarens, it'd be pretty good to almost just show how much pace you have. Carlos Sainz with the 123.8, even with that snap then. So what's Lando doing? 36.1 sector 2 as George Russell goes second, just a couple of hundredths behind Max Verstappen actually. Antonelli goes P5, but it's all about Lando Norris here. Piastri's not on a fast lap. Piastri will be going for fast lap next time around. All eyes on Lando. What's Lando going to do? Oh, 23 dead. 23 dead. 4/10 quicker than Verstappen. So that is pretty ominous on the soft tyre. So if Lando can do that in qualifying. Welcome Bones Jones. Afternoon. Hope you have Friday. Yes, I am. I'm just swapping some emails. Because I am going to be doing an event this evening in London, and it's still being finalised as I speak. So that's very exciting. So yeah, I will be in central London later for an event. As soon as it's all finalised, I'll be able to, I think, talk about it. It's with one of the biggest brands in the world, which is quite exciting. The soft is proven to quicker. How is the deck though? Well, if you remember back in Abu Dhabi 2021, how did the race start? If you remember, Verstappen was on pole on the soft tyre and Hamilton was P2 on the medium. Now, that might have been when the regulations were you started on the tyre you qualified on. I can't remember. Was that how it was in 2021? But Verstappen started on that soft tyre. Hamilton overtook him. Verstappen tried to get him back, famously, into turn 6. Hamilton cut turn 6. Basically just didn't do turn 6 and 7. There was no penalty there. Hamilton could keep the position. But then Verstappen boxed quite early on the soft tyre. Verstappen was one of the first cars to pit in the whole race. Which is quite interesting. But the Verstappen, Perez and Hamilton were about 3 seconds quicker than the rest of the field. So we kind of forget that. Even today, like, the cars aren't 3 seconds quicker at the front. Anyway, Verstappen boxed and Mercedes, I think, reacted too quickly by pitting Hamilton straight away. Bones, I managed to get gold new G7 Sport Challenge last night. Very happy that Espas is a handful. We'll have to do another stream. I enjoyed the stream when we did the where we did the oval one to get that gold, that 2 million credits. Get those creds. You should jump into Hamilton's Ferrari Evo. I have been in Hamilton's Ferrari Evo, but obviously I can't do Yas Marina in Evo. There'll be a video coming on Evo probably tomorrow. By the way, thanks so much everyone on supporting the content. The content right now is doing really well. I think people are really enjoying it. Even last night we did a reverse Nürburgring lap against Max Verstappen's time. I'm really pleasantly surprised with it. People are really enjoying it, so thank you very much. And yeah, we'll do Yas Marina. I'm sure Yas Marina will be a daily race next week, for sure. So we'll be hitting that hard. 26 minutes to go. Lando Norris still faster with 23 dead. Verstappen 23.4. Verstappen's now on medium tyres, maybe doing a bit of a race stint simulation. So, not first blood to Norris there. Piastri, for some reason, wasn't able to set a quick time, even though he was on the soft tyre. He's going to come out again on the softs, just behind Lando, actually. So we will see what Piastri does after this outlap. Will he do a quali simulation run? Again, I think there's... it's a bit more than bragging rights. They won't want to concede any psychological disadvantage. So... wow, I'm just getting so many messages. Just everyone just hold up. Just slow down, everyone. Just relax. GT Mega lost one of my boxes going on week 3. Oh no, is that for the Prime Light? Surely they're going to send... obviously they're going to replace that, right? Are they going to expedite it a little bit? Who do they ship it with? Just so we know. Where is Piastri? So keep an eye on Piastri when he goes over the start-finish line. Yes. I had that once, I think with Track Race or something. I was building it and then I was like, this is definitely missing. And everything's like half built, you need to wait. It's really frustrating. I hope Lando does to Max what Max did to Lewis to steal the championship on the last lap. Let's see. Oh, the cars are fast. Get the cameras low down. When you get the cameras high up, zoomed in, the cars don't look fast at all. Some of the camera angles make no sense in Formula 1. It literally designed like, how can we make these cars look as slow as possible? And then they would have executed that 100%. The speed of these cars through corners is honestly just scary. And I think that Formula 1 should be really emphasising that, because the cars don't sound good at all. They sound terrible. You can't see the drivers anymore because of the halo, which I agree with the halo, but you can't see the drivers anymore. So the thing these cars have going for them is that they are the fastest cars ever. And they're the fastest cars ever because of the speed they go around corners. So that needs to be emphasised to the viewer. Otherwise, sometimes I look at these cars and it looks like you're driving in slow motion. FedEx. Very disappointed in FedEx. What's Piastri saying? Right, Piastri is on that fast lap. Last year, Lando qualified a 1:22.5. Welcome, Gagan, in the Formula Fan TV stream. 22.5. Piastri is going to do... I don't think it's going to be fantastic. In fact, it's slower than his previous lap. 1:23.8. So unless he's sandbagging... yeah, exactly. It's the cameras that just look head-on down the straight. It's like if you took a camera like that and you looked at the planes coming in to land at an airport, it would look like the planes were stationary. So they do the exact same thing. So what happened with Piastri was Piastri impeded. There was a red... Oh, Piastri locked up. Piastri locked up. Big old lock up on the softs. A little bit of a flat spot as well. So he's scrubbing a set of soft tyres there. Black BRB lunchtime. Enjoy it. So let's take stock. What are we thinking here in terms of how this worked at the championship? Right now, Norris looks very good. Norris looks very good, and the standard school of thinking would be that Norris is just gonna, the McLaren's just gonna check out from this race. It was a weird circumstance last time out in Qatar that enabled Max Verstappen to win. But Piastri was still much quicker than Verstappen. So the question is, can Verstappen pull something superhuman out of the bag? And you can never discount that from Max Verstappen. So that's always going to be a possibility, always. But then the other part of the equation is, who could potentially get in between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris? Because if it's Oscar Piastri in between, well, A, that's not enough anyway, because Lando would be on the podium and he would win championship. And even if there's another car, Piastri can be asked to drop back, which I'm sure he'd do. Behrman's saying, mate, the car is insane. I don't know how. It's so good. So Behrman's loving the car. So this goes on to my point. What other cars on the grid could get ahead of a McLaren? And it sounds like Oliver Behrman is like a bear in mud at the moment. He's absolutely loving it. Bones, Piastri has bottled half of the season for sure, but McLaren have let both their drivers down. Max shouldn't have been in the equation. I think it may affect Lando's legacy, where people may go that, oh, Lando was helped to the championship or something, and I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, Lando should be champion already. If he probably had some of the worst luck. Think about Zandvoort, for example. And also the floor DQ. I mean, without the floor DQ at Vegas, Lando's champion. So Behrman, do you really think Behrman's going to be up there? I'm not sure. Russell, what about George Russell? Could Russell be up there? The crash in Canada, yeah. The crash in Canada, in Montreal, at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, that I put down to Lando, though. Lando was just very impatient. I mean, Lando, that should have been a simple move. Lando should have been applying more sustained pressure there. Can Max win this? Max can win it, but there'll need to be other cars in between Max and Lando. And at the moment, it's not clear who they would be. So we're looking at maybe... It looks like it's not going to be the Ferraris, for example. So it's bad news for Max that the Ferraris are just pants. Behrman. Could be a different front, you know, Behrman. What about Kimi? What about George? People saying that the Mercedes look like they might be pretty quick. Charge my phone if I'm going to be heading into London town. Can you show Max on board? No, I can't, I'm afraid. I don't mess around here, I'll just tell you how it is. I can't show it. I mean, I could, but I won't. A lot of cars in pits. Will we see some more quali simulation runs at the end? That'll be fun. But it seems slight advantage to Lando here. Because at 4/10, I know it's free practice, but at 4/10 is a pretty big marker. Bones, my biggest fear for the race is that one or more title contenders get taken out early on. Well, not if Lando gets taken out. The most interesting scenario, unfortunately for Lando, is that Lando retires early on. Because then, what about Piastri and Verstappen? And then how do the hardcore Lando fans feel about that? Do they end up really supporting Piastri? That's quite an interesting situation, I believe. Lando retired. This is free practice, my friend. This is free practice. This is not actually the race. There's still another free practice and qualifying to come. Does anyone actually watch TV on Sky? Like, it just seems like... Does anyone actually watch TV on the Sky? V-neck, I don't think McLaren can run away with this from the front without perceiving to be running into traffic very quickly. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They're not going to run into traffic as quickly as in 2021. Traffic in 2021, by the way, played a massive role because Hamilton, before Latifi's safety car, Hamilton had lost quite a bit of time getting through a pack of traffic that Verstappen basically didn't hit. Verstappen was about to hit it, and then the safety car came out, so Felipe doesn't. So Behrman likes the car he's got underneath him. He's on a soft tyre, but Behrman's happy. What's Lando up to here? Is Lando gonna go for a... Is he still on a... He's on a quality simulation or doing a race stint? Let's see. He is on the medium tyre. Bones, I'm a Lando fan, but I honestly prefer Max to win over Piastri just for the drama. V-neck had 2021 in mind when posting the above. Yeah. The sensational thing would be if someone like a Hadjar, who's very much... His colours are nailed to the Red Bull mast. If Hadjar was going to play funny with blue flags. Well, I think Hadjar's going to be too quick. I think Hadjar's going to be in no man's land where he's not going to be slow enough to cause a problem. But he's not going to be quick enough to cause a problem. Oliver Behrman's still on those soft tyres. 14 minutes to go. The Ferraris look absolutely nowhere. If this happens next year for Ferrari, I don't see Hamilton going the whole season. It's too far to fall. What was Antonelli up to? Antonelli hit lap traffic in the form of an RB. Oh my god, what the heck is he doing? This idiot. Quote unquote Kimi Antonelli. Hamilton is tired of Ferrari. Hamilton's just... I think... Apart from a big wad of cold, hard cash, what has Lewis Hamilton gained by going to Ferrari? Maybe the cash is worth it. Trade legacy for cash. It's a legacy for cash scandal. Oh, by the way, do hit the like button, everyone. 136 people watching, 37 likes. We can definitely get that up to 50. Please do smash it. No other steward instance apart from Verstappen and Lando Norris. You couldn't make it up. You could not make it up. Piastri, meanwhile, absolutely nowhere here. Maybe Piastri knows he's got it in reserve and he doesn't want to show his hand. What's the chance of Hamilton joining Mercedes back? Well, it'd have to be his reserve driver. Maybe Hamilton would like that. Maybe Hamilton would like that. Wasn't Michael Schumacher kind of like a reserve for Mercedes before he came back as a... Wasn't he like a Mercedes ambassador before he rejoined as a Formula 1 driver? It's crazy to think that Michael Schumacher could have been in that Mercedes and Michael Schumacher could have driven into his like late 40s. This used to be the case in Formula 1 and become a well past a 10 times champion. I mean, it sounds crazy, but you look at people like Sebastian Loeb. What's he, like a 9-time champion? What's Bortoletto saying? Look at the stakes up there. 5th and 6th. Maybe they're not sandbagging at all. Now, we all knew he was going because what they had planned for 26. Do you reckon Ferrari are cooking? He's saying Ferrari are absolutely cooking for 26.
Keep trying.
Well, I mean, you say you knew the car was going to be rubbish, but he won the sprint race in China. It's such a high to low, honestly. The sprint race, the Saturday, he's top of the world. He's on, so he is on top of a podium. Do they do podium for sprint race? They do podium? Maybe they don't. But he wins the sprint race. He wins a race in Formula 1 for Ferrari, and the next day he gets disqualified, and then I think it's just downhill from there. Thanks, Thomas. They do. So there are images of Ferrari, of Hamilton on the podium for Ferrari. Charles has been consistently better than Lewis for a lot of season. Yeah, I agree. Antonelli incident, Antonelli incident impeding. That was Ocon then, who Antonelli was behind. But I've always said, if Charles Leclerc is like a 10th quicker than Hamilton in qualifying, I think you take that. I think that's fine. That's acceptable. Because Hamilton gives you so much experience, etc. in the race and hopefully developing the car. But I think it's okay for him to be a 10th slower than Charles Leclerc. What's happened is I think Hamilton is probably more than the 10th behind. Although, interesting what the stats will say. But he just doesn't seem to be able to do it in the race either. Hulkenberg and Colapinto getting some data in on those hard tyres. You know what I love about the helmet cam? So they have these helmet cams these days. They're inside the helmet. You are literally like millimeters away from Oscar Piastri's face. Like, that camera is so intimate. I don't think we appreciate it. You know when you see the footage of the helmet cameras these days? They're inside. They're like embedded in the in the side cushion. You know, you'll be able to hear like probably not microphone, but you'll be able to hear like breathing. It's such an intimate, it's just a crazy intimate camera that we don't really think about. Bortles saying who says Ferrari, Leclerc, and Bortles says the big Leclerc. Some stake banter going on there. Unless he's like, I sold it just to be able to drive for Ferrari, yes, and a lot of cold hard cash as well. Cold hard Benjamins. Or what's it in Italy? Is it lira? Was it euros? They need to stabilise them. I like it like that. I like it aggressive and sort of like. But my point is that when you think about it, we probably don't appreciate how intimate that camera is. You know, every other time we see these drivers, we're on cameras a long way away zoomed in, or it's an interview where, you know, there's distance. And for any sport, you never see, like, imagine a tennis player having like a camera like that. Max 26 LP. What does LP mean? Max 26. Is he releasing a record? Is it gonna be a banger? Hadjar in the pits. Big long stint on the soft tyres there for Isaac Hadjar. I was gonna buy one of those cameras. I need to edit my karting videos in a few days, where in between doing dad stuff, I don't stream. I just edit karting videos, and then you all need to go and watch them and like them if I do the karting videos, please. Because I would love to do more karting stuff. Who in chat didn't know that I make go-karting videos? Like, I take a camera with me on my helmet and I make karting videos. Verstappen, the car is bouncing there too much in turn 3. Fleecassie didn't know. See, Fleecassie, I do. Bones didn't know. Was you any good? What do you say was? I'm not retired, mate. What do you mean, was I any good? Grandad, were you any good at karting back in the day? Grandad, when you were younger, were you any good at the go-kart, Grandad? I'm in my prime, guys. Come on. You're making me sound like I'm Lewis Hamilton. That's a weird... That's got many textured things to it. Have I won anything? I've won a few things, yeah. But all in Arrive and Drive. And all of that is in 4-stroke. I never won anything in 2-stroke. I had some good races in 2-stroke, but I never got on with 2-stroke as well as 4-stroke. Yeah, go after this stream, go to Formula Fan TV, search Formula Fan TV. Or just search Kireth karting videos on YouTube. And you'll see some. They were DQ'd from the main race because they lowered the car to the ground for the sprint. I didn't know that. Oh, I just hit the escape button on my keyboard, which is never a good thing. I don't know what it's done. Was you any good at sim racing? Oh god. This is how older YouTubers must feel. I think I'm one of the younger YouTubers in sim racing. Like, some of these dudes are going to be, they are going to be sim racing granddads. You got a kid now, kiss that karting goodbye. I don't think so. I don't think so. But Verstappen's got a baby daughter. Verstappen's got 2. I mean, one of them is Daniel Kvyat's, but, you know, we'll gloss over that. That's what happened to me. What, you out of the road tax into the 4-strokes? I just prefer 4-strokes. I prefer the more deliberate nature of them. I seem to get better parity in Arrive and Drive. You know, doing Club 100 is such an experience with the 2-stroke, with the vibration, with the noise. You know, the karts are nicely tuned up. You know, you race against some very, very, very good drivers. Very good drivers. But I did TKM karting back in the day. I prefer the TKMs over the road tax, even the TKMs are brutal. Is there an EV kart scene now? There is increasingly an EV scene. In fact, Rob Smedley is leading the charge on EV karting. Two minutes to go, everyone. So after this stream, I'm going to be going to... I think it's confirmed now. I'm going to be going this afternoon to the Samsung Centre in King's Cross, London. And I'm going to be helping people. They've got some simulators there. Let me read the brief. They've got some simulators there. They're doing a Samsung KX racing experience. And I think they're showcasing their Odyssey monitor. But they've got a live DJ, complimentary drinks, and nibbles, and simulators. And I'll be there on hand. I think it's like a sim racing dude who can help people. And I think it's all with their base performance simulators as well. So some collaboration between base performance simulators, Samsung, who are providing them Odyssey monitors. And that's all in King's Cross. So if anyone's in London, Samsung King's Cross, you know what to do. Yeah, I'm reading this. You'll be able to experience the fun of the simulator, a live DJ, and complimentary drinks. Now, the live DJing bit wasn't in my contract, but I assume I'm also doing the DJing. And I assume I've got to bring the nibbles as well. I'll be making a video of it. So if you can't make it to King's Cross, I'll be making a video. For free, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's for free. Samsung have teamed up with base performance simulators for the immersive and realistic driving experience featuring Samsung Odyssey gaming monitors. So, should be a fun evening in King's Cross. I've been there before, to the centre. And it's pretty cool to be doing some stuff with Samsung. That's pretty cool. Right, checkered flag goes. Checkered flag goes. And it is Lando Norris who has set the marker here. 4/10 quicker than Max Verstappen. So first blood, I would say, goes to Lando Norris in this one. That needs to be hammer time phase now. Bring the nibbles. Right, everyone. We're going to be back for qualifying. Does anyone know what time qualifying starts? It doesn't matter. I will schedule it. We'll be back for free practice 3. And then we'll do qualifying. Okay. And then the race. And it might be exciting. It might not be exciting. I don't know. But we'll be there. No matter what. We'll be there. Right, everyone. I'm going to go to King's Cross now. And help some people with their sim racing. Maybe there'll be some other special guests there. I don't know. Tell your friends about it. I'll do a post as well. Yeah. And maybe when I'm back, I might do some Gran Turismo lobbies at Yas Marina. I just feel like that'd be pretty cool. But thank you so much for joining. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Join us again tomorrow for free practice and qualifying, while I'll do my very best to guide you through it. It's been a great season, covering it since the beginning. Another fantastic season of live streaming, so it'd be great to celebrate it with you guys. And I will see you